Greetings, and thank you for joining this installment of the Family Forum series offered by the Sioux Falls School District with experts from Avera. My name is Brady Skoglund, and during this session, we will talk about what resources are available around Sioux Falls for children this summer. With the school year winding down, this session will include some helpful advice on how to find and fund summer activities, as well as where to look for potential summer jobs for children. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. James Knoll, Assistant Superintendent of the Sioux Falls School District, to offer a welcome.
Good evening. On behalf of the Sioux Falls School District, I again want to welcome you to this 9-part presentation that is titled the Family Forum Series. First of all, I want to take this time and opportunity to thank Avera again for their partnership with the Sioux Falls School District in providing this service to our families. This is the 9th installment of the series, and we hope that you have found the previous presentations and information to be of great benefit. You are welcome to watch all the previous presentations that have been recorded and are available for your viewing at the Sioux Falls School District Counseling website. You are also welcome to join us on the third Tuesday of each month to hear information on a new topic. Each topic is intended to strengthen and support our families by providing information and resources that exist right here in our community. And now I look forward to hearing from our presenter this evening. And please do not hesitate to provide us feedback on the Sioux Falls School District Let's Talk app that can be found on the Sioux Falls School District website. Again, thank you, and I look forward to hearing more from our presenter.
Thanks, Dr. Knoll. We'll now move on to the presentation. We're pre-recording this session, so won't be taking live questions, but we will leave some time at the end to address some of the top concerns we hear from parents. Tonight's program will be presented by Heidi Thomas. Heidi is a clinical therapist at Avera Medical Group Behavioral Health. Welcome, Heidi, and thank you for presenting.
Hi, my name is Heidi Thomas. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and have the opportunity to provide outpatient therapy services through the Avera Family Wellness Program and in partnership with the Sioux Falls School District. I've been practicing at Avera for about 1.5 years and practicing social work in the Sioux Falls area for about 9 years. I love working with our families and appreciate the partnerships that we have in our community. Thank you for joining us today for our Family Forum series in May. Today, we're going to be talking about our summer rhythms and how we manage some of those transitions. So I'd like to just start off by saying summer is right around the corner. Start planning now to minimize the stress. Prioritize your needs and wants for the summer. And it's a great idea to include your kids and teens in this discussion as well. What kind of family vacations are you thinking about going on this summer? It can be as simple as one night staying in a local campground camping. Do your children have summer homework requirements, or are they needing summer school? Are your teens in extracurricular activities through the school district, like in band or color guard or drama, that require time during the summer to meet those obligations? Many people ask, how do we start a budget or plan for some of these summer activities? It might not be as hard as you think. Money is usually not everyone's most favorite topic to discuss, but simply writing down how much money activities and camps and summer care cost might give you a general idea of how much you need to save for ahead of time. Some of these conversations will help ease some of the financial burden and strain. There are so many free activities to do in the Sioux Falls area. We're really, really lucky to live in a wonderful community that offers so many free activities. Many programs through the Sioux Falls Parks and Rec are free, and they do provide scholarships. Presenting a Medicaid card can gain access to free and reduced activities like a summer pool pass for all of the Sioux Falls swimming pools. Midco Aquatic Center has an indoor water park, and if you have an active Medicaid card, you can get in for $1 admission. Making a summer budget and sticking to it doesn't have to be that difficult as long as you plan ahead for it. And then we have a lot of free parks that have like day use facilities. We have walking and biking trails. We have splash pads and wading pools available as well. And then of course, all of our Avera programming does accept insurance. It does take a village. Ask for help. It takes a community to help support our children and youth. Let's get creative. Who do you have in your support circle that you could connect with to ease some of the burden of transportation for activities? Do you have friends of your children's that are the same age? What about other working parents in your neighborhood or neighbors? Could you rotate schedules? Could you carpool? Are there grandparents, aunts, or uncles or cousins that you could ask for help? You don't have to do this alone. We're here for you, and you may be surprised at how many other people are also in similar situations and would be grateful for the opportunity to collaborate and support each other. The next piece is about communication. Setting our kids and our youth up for success is so important. Having the conversations ahead of time of what you're expecting from them while you're away or while they're apart from you is really important. Talk about your expectations and rules while you're at work or away from home and while your teens are interacting in the community. What kinds of things do they need to be aware of? What kind of rules do you have in your family? Oftentimes families have different rules than other families, and so it's important to have that communication up front with your child. Agree on some ground rules and make a safety plan. That safety plan should include emergency numbers and identifying safe people. At least 2 to 3 people should be on that safe people list. And they should be people that your child knows and has a healthy relationship with. We also have 988, and that is a text or calling service for crisis intervention and suicide hotline. And then we have the 211 helpline in Sioux Falls, and that gives us wonderful information and access to all kinds of community resources. And of course, we have 911 too available for all emergency services. I'd recommend putting all of this on a piece of paper and putting it on your refrigerator and in a common area, along with those emergency contacts so that you and your child have them at all times. It's easy to get way off track in the summer months with our sleep habits. Communicating and agreeing ahead of time with our kids on a schedule for sleep can help decrease arguments later about bedtime expectations. Staying on a schedule. Agreeing on a bedtime and trying to stay within 30 to 60 minutes of this each night can really, really help your child and benefit them physically and mentally. And then agreeing on a wake time, particularly with our teens who want to sleep all day long in the summer, but staying within, again, that 30 to 60 minute range each morning of a wake up time. And again, it doesn't have to be really early like a school wake up time would be during the school year. It can be more reasonable, like 8, 9, 10 in the morning. But what we don't want to see are kids having habits of the next 8 weeks sleeping until noon or 1, because it makes it that much harder for them to get back on track when the school year starts up again. And of course, we know children and adults need consistent restful sleep each night to stay physically and mentally healthy. Creating a cool, dark, quiet, and comfortable sleep environment is important, and limiting screen time to at least 30 minutes before bedtime. And not having electronics or screens in our sleeping space can really help our sleep hygiene habits. And we're going to talk about routine. Oftentimes people maybe feel a little boxed in with having a schedule, but creating some healthy rhythms each day promotes security, responsibility, and accountability at home. It does not need to be rigid to work. Again, we're just prioritizing some needs. Some ideas are, do your children have chores that they need to do every day, like cleaning up their room or making their bed, getting dressed, brushing their teeth? Common things that we do every day during the school year are helpful to bring into our summertime routines as well. And again, we live in South Dakota, so prioritizing playing outside in the summer months is really important. Our kids and adults need fresh air every day. Reading can really help with that summer slide that happens and can help promote better reading habits at the start of the school year. And in games or family time, and prioritizing some friend and social time as well in that daily rhythm is important to think about. We're going to talk a little bit about summer employment. I know many teens are always looking to gain extra money and financial independence. And there are so many places in our area that offer seasonal employment. There's particularly different ice cream places locally that are only open during the summer months that might employ your teen. There's fast food. There's different other different retail stores that offer seasonal employments for our youth. And if transportation is an issue, you can look at the walkability of your surrounding areas. Do you live in a more urban or residential developed area where your team could safely ride their bike or walk to their place of employment? And if those aren't options, offering to help your neighbors. Are there any babysitting needs in the community? Picking up animal waste is quite a popular side job that I've seen a lot of teens get into recently. And then again, mowing or yard maintenance or asking an elderly neighbor if they can assist them with something. All of those things are great ideas for your teams to make some extra money this summer. And then again, if you have siblings in your home or asking a family member if they can participate in extra chores or job responsibilities could also be beneficial for them and for you. We're going to talk a little bit about our Avera programming. We have some specific programming for kids who have higher needs with their mental health. One of those groups we offer during year-round meets weekly. We have 2 groups, and they're for kids and adults, particularly who struggle with disordered eating. It's called our Eating Disorder Program, and the first group is for 12 to 17-year-olds, male or female. And our second group is for 18 and older adults. If you are interested in learning more about this, we have an email address on our screen, or you can call 605-322-5142. And these groups are always facilitated by licensed therapists and a dietitian. And they do accept insurance. And secondly, we have 2 programs that offer more intensive outpatient treatments. Our first one is our partial hospitalization program. And these are for teens who do not require hospitalization, but still require a higher level of care while they're living at home. And these are for teens who need intensive treatment for mental or behavioral health concerns. You can contact your Avera provider or call 605-322-4056 for additional information. Weekday group attendance for our partial hospitalization program is required. And these groups are again facilitated by licensed therapists and the interdisciplinary team at Avera. And this is a group I currently facilitate. We meet on Mondays, Monday afternoons for about 45 minutes. And these are for teens who don't need as high of a level of care for their mental health. They don't require daily treatment or check-ins, but they still would benefit from meeting with a licensed therapist 1 time a week for a safety check-in, and for teens who would benefit from being in a small group of kids their own age, and they would be learning psychosocial skills, psychoeducation, and coping skills for the treatment of common mental health conditions in a group setting. For more information, you can contact the email address on the screen. And lastly, we have our family education group, and this is a free group to support our families and to help them understand more about the mental health conditions, understand crisis response planning for their youth, and learn how to support their loved ones who are struggling with their mental health. You can contact a behavioral health navigation team at 605-322-5142 if you'd like more information. These are virtual events and they are at no charge, and they meet on Mondays and at Thursdays for 30 minutes. And we just want to reiterate, Avera is here to support you and your youth, and you don't have to do this alone. Next, we'll talk about some community resources we have in our own area in Sioux Falls. The Sioux Falls Parks and Recreation have a wonderful online platform where you can look through all of the activities that are offered and register your child or your family. There are many free and reduced rate programming available through the website. There's activities for all ages. There are aquatics, there's tournaments, there's leagues, there's family activities. There They range from anything from lifeguarding classes for your youth who maybe are interested in pursuing that as a summer employment opportunity to outdoor campus activities like fishing or kayaking. You can call 605-367-8222 for more information, or look at the website through the Sioux Falls Parks and Rec. And lastly, we have a local magazine called the Hood Magazine, and they have a really helpful summer camp guide 2023 for the Sioux Falls and surrounding areas. And their website is on this slide. There's so many options for individuals and families, including coding, art, drama, music, sports, gymnastics, and other workshops. There's also a lot of summer youth camps, including Leif Erikson, Lutherans Outdoors, Inspiration Hills, and other summer sleepaway opportunities for your kids who might be interested in a real camping experience. And then there's also recreational sport opportunities, including soccer, golf, and tennis. And we have other organizations like MB, the Washington Pavilion, the Museum of Visual Arts and Materials, and the Outdoor Campus, and they also offer summer programming and workshops. And last but not least, our Siouxland libraries offer free programming to our community year-round and have many summer reading opportunities available for their youth and children. Thank you so much for inviting me to talk about our summer schedules and how we can adjust to this new transition. I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe summer break.
Heidi, thank you for that information. That was great information for our parents and some different things that they can really see to do during the summer to keep their children active and do family events. Sometimes during the summer, there's a lot of extra time kids will have, especially if they're not involved in some of those activities that you talked about. And some parents become concerned a little bit that they're using a lot of that time, especially late at night from 10, 11, 12, or early into the morning doing social media or gaming. But especially, it seems like social media comes up as one of the biggest things. What advice would you give a parent as to where that would become a concern, where they need to address it, or even look for some additional help outside of their home or professional help?
Thank you. That is an excellent question, and one I hear asked about frequently from parents. So some of the warning signs that I would pay particularly particular attention to would be isolatory behavior, sudden mood changes like anger, tearfulness, anxiety increasing, depression increasing, and then also just keeping an eye on who they're interacting with online. I don't think that teens need a lot of privacy online with their gaming or their social media. As parents, we need to be involved and we need to be helping them navigate those different situations that they're encountering every day on the internet. I would also just recommend that if you do start to see some concerning behavioral changes or sudden changes in your child, that you try to have a conversation with them and start looking at what they're doing online. Look at their online activity. Setting up parental controls ahead of time can be really, really helpful as well, so that we're limiting their opportunities to get into trouble. And then also, we at Avera always have our assessment open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week over at our Avera Behavioral Health campus. And if at any point your child is showing signs of suicidality or self-harm or wanting to hurt others, those are really big red flags. And we would ask and encourage parents to always consider bringing their child in for an assessment and then seeing if they need a higher level of care at that point. And then again, I think going back to just the routines and expectations, you can have conversations with your children ahead of time on setting limits with gaming and setting limits with social media. And is there anything that is productive after 10 p.m. on social media that your child actually needs to be engaging with? And having those conversations and keeping the communication open with your teens is very helpful. Also, just finding a licensed therapist that you and your child can work with and trust if you start to have increased needs regarding these situations can also be a really great way of gaining more support.
Heidi, thank you for that information. And one other question that we have that comes in quite often is, so many times during the year, the school or the school district is a main source for children for their meals, for their school year meals. That includes a breakfast and a lunch. What are some of those resources that may be available for our families if that becomes a concern for their children to make sure that they're well fed and taken care of with that nutritional value during the summer?
Thank you so much for asking that question. Very, very important topic to discuss as well with food insecurity in our families in the area. There are different site locations through the Sioux Falls School District at different elementary schools that offer free lunch and free breakfast during the Monday through Friday work week. And you can find out more information by looking through the district website to find out where those sites are specifically at. And then also, I know we have like places like the Banquet that offer free dinners, and there are 2 different locations. And then also, if you're still experiencing food insecurity or need additional resources, I would recommend calling our 211 helpline and talking to them about your needs and having them give you additional information on how to get more food delivery options or meal options to support you and your kids this summer.
Thank you to Heidi Thomas for presenting tonight's session on summer resources. This session concludes our Family Forum series for the year. If you missed any of our previous forums, you can watch them by going to the services area of the Sioux Falls School District's website. Thank you for joining us and have a great night.